Hello, everyone. Welcome back and happy Friday. It's time for another edition of Mr. M Reads. We are continuing our story of Scooby-Doo and the Frozen Giant. We will be on chapter 7, right around, I believe it's finishing up paragraph 36, where Scooby and Shaggy were being chased by the Frozen Giant out of his cave. All right, let's get back into the story. So Shaggy and Scooby started running again. They flew over snowbanks and zipped around trees. Scooby's paws spun and slipped out from under him as he slid over an icy log and fell to the ground. His face landed in the snow. Roach! Scooby whined. He blew snow out of his nose and mouth. Hey, Scoob, watch this, Shaggy said. He hid behind a huge pine tree. As soon as the giant went rushing past, Shaggy pelted the creature with snowballs. Ree! Scooby giggled. The giant had to lift its huge arms to protect itself from the snowball attack. But Scooby stopped laughing when Shaggy ran out of snowballs. The giant turned and roared at them again. Here's a picture of that scene unfolding. Scooby began to run first with Shaggy close on his heels. They moved as fast as they could in their snow gear, but both of them fell a few times. Once they went sliding down a hill on their backsides. Ree! Scooby cried. Just when Shaggy and Scooby thought they couldn't run anymore, the giant raised its arms and gave one final growl. And then it turned and charged back through the woods. Like, that was close, Shaggy said, panting. He sat on the ground to rest. Whew. This belly is going to need some serious fuel before our next chase. He poked around his jacket pockets and found a dusty old Scooby snack. Like, look at this. It's my lucky day. He tossed the snack up in the air and opened his mouth to catch it. And Scooby reached his tongue out and grabbed the Scooby snack out of the air before Shaggy could eat it. He chomped down happily. Ranks, Raggy. I was wondering when they were going to get to the Scooby snacks. They haven't eaten very many this story. Hey, guys, Fred called from the trees. What are you doing way over here? I thought we were all meeting back by the caves. Shaggy and Scooby stood up and shook the snow off. They tripped over each other as they hustled to get to Fred. Daphne and Nora were right behind him. Like, first we found the frozen giant, Shaggy said quickly. He pointed. In that cave you made us look in back there. Rah! Scooby nodded. He raised up on his back legs and waved his arms around in the air, like the giant had done. Right! Roar! Then that frozen beast got Scooby-Doo, Shaggy said. Like, it grabbed him by the tail and we had to play tug of war to get our old buddy back. Scooby covered his eyes, remembering how scared he'd been when the giant pulled at his tail. He wrapped his tail around his body and hugged it tight. Rid-ro-ree! And then that thing chased us all the way over here, Shaggy cried. The frozen giant chased you, Daphne asked. Wait a minute. Where's Velma? Shaggy looked around as if he just remembered that Velma was missing. Like, that's what I want to know. The giant was so hot on our heels when we bolted out of that cave, but all of a sudden, Velma wasn't. So Velma's missing, Fred asked. I have a feeling if we find Velma, we'll also find Sabrina. Nora groaned. So what you're saying is you think the frozen giant has 2 prisoners now? But why? She looked at the others and shook her head. Maybe I should just cancel the ice carnival and close up town again. This is getting too dangerous. Rah! Scooby said. Rangerous. Look over here, Daphne exclaimed suddenly. It looks like that giant dropped something when it was chasing you, she said. She was holding a large piece of paper. Shaggy shook his head. The giant's a litter bug. Red Ryan, Scooby said. This isn't litter, Daphne said, unfolding the paper. It's another clue. This is a map. Not just any map, Fred said. He looked over Daphne's shoulder. It's a map of the forest and hills surrounding the town of Giant's Ridge. Why would the giant need a map of the forest, Shaggy asked. If it's really been hanging out in these hills for 1,000 years, wouldn't it know its way around by now? Fred nodded. You're exactly right, Shaggy. If the giant really spent a lot of time around Giant's Ridge, it certainly wouldn't need a map. He folded the map and tucked it inside his pocket. This is all starting to make a lot more sense. I have a hunch about who our frozen giant might be. We need to find Velma and Sabrina. Then it's time to set a trap. And that will end it for us today. I hope you join me next week for chapter 8. We should have 2 more chapters after chapter 8. Go to into chapter 10 to end it. Thank you all for following along, parents, students, everyone. I hope you all stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you again next week.